11, we're ranking we're ranking a bunch of stuff in Entry Point. So we have this tier list, So we have equipment, maps. By the way, this is not mission, this will be Shadow War. If they were in Shadow War, we're ranking them on. And then we have this, which will be Entry Point weapons in terms of visuals, not stats, visuals. Because as you can see, there's M20 without stock, short grip, shotgun, all the Raven frames. In other words, there's no stock of us. As you can see, there's a ton of weapons. First up, this is the normal stock for the MCS. This weapon is iconic. It's in the Shadow War menu. Sparrow has it equipped along with the Raven, so this is going to be S tier. It's really infamous because the Mr. Siri used to abuse it. Same thing. The Raven is also iconic because this gun's the most iconic gun in Entry Point, behind the F57, I'd argue. Everyone knows the F57 is objectively the best weapon for loud missions, but for Shadow War, it's probably the UFC. Next up, short grip shotgun. I'd say B. It's really only good for like extra. Actually, I'll do A because it's useful for short range, but this is better. This is slightly better for medium. CBRC. No iron sights. The magazine looks relatively good on it. The grip looks good. The trigger looks good. Everything about the gun looks good. CHA. I like the furnishing. I really like how it's not like just black or just gray. Because there's only like 2 guns in the game with wood furnishing, I think. And this is a thumper than this. So yeah, those guns are going to be. Now, thumper. The trigger looks really weird for a grenade launcher. Also, the fact that, like, the iron sights are trash on it, like, the iron sights look absolutely horrible. There's, like, the stock looks really bad, so I'm gonna say C tier. The wood furnishing brings it up a tier. Next up, we got the F57 without stock. This looks like something a Special Forces would carry. This looks like something you'd have to, like, have a smaller, hitbox or something. Personally, it's really fun carrying it because you get like personally it'd be really cool to do it like Rambo style. So I'm gonna say B tier. The fact that it's just really funny to carry because it's a slightly higher rating. Now this is the F57. I'm assuming this is the short mag, no stock. Or is this with stock? I'm pretty sure this is with stock. Give it A tier then. Actually, I'll give it S. The anti are also pretty good. I know because visually. Now. Personally, for me, the fact that it has no stock and the fact that the magazine is a bit shorter, it's actually really good. It kind of looks like a really kind of looks like a Scar PDW from Phantom Forces. Kind of looks like that with like all the short attachments. That's what it looks like. Next up, we got the K45. Quite honestly, it has a really clean and sleek design, so it's gonna be S tier. It looks so good. Next up, the folded S97. Now you can't get this in game because I know the only way you could get it is by watching Black Dawn. You don't actually get the gun, but you can see Jackdaw has the weapon with the grip folded, the stock holstered or whatever. So in other words, it's basically the S97, but if it was shortened. S tier. It's great. It's modular. It kind of reminds me of the MP5 where you can like put the stock back. Kind of reminds me of that. Next up, the gun. This gun is basically the MP7, because this gun's just the MP7. But if it looked worse, this gun kind of looks like the Mac 10. I don't know why. It looks a bit like the Mac 10, but this actually looks like an MP7, which it's alright. I've seen MP7 that's like. Way too many games with overdone. M20 is a really unique gun. I've never seen it in any other game, so honestly, S tier. The magazine looks great. It's like a vector. It's like a vector basically, but if it was Chinese, it's really cool. Now, the one without the stock is going to be a tier. Personally, I think the stock makes it look cooler because I like how the stock looks. Next up, Golden Raven. Automatic D tier. People only use this for flexing purposes. They literally just look like. It reminds me of people who buy those like super expensive phones. Like the people who buy the Apple every year. Like, those people who buy the new Apple product every single year without fail. These are the kind of people who would, like, legitimately buy this in real life. I mean, if it was cheap, then maybe. If it was expensive, then no. Now, this is the... Okay, this is the Mattel, the Mattel Raven. Whenever I use the Raven, this is the frame I go for. It looks really, really good. UPG, this sounds like a leather furnishing, and I like it. The other I like it because it was from a Soviet country, so I'm gonna say A tier. Next up, the Mattel Raven is on the Steel Raven, gonna be B tier. Personally, I think it's really good, but like personally, it looks too similar to like all these guns. Next up, Saw Blade, C tier. It literally actually it's the only LMG. I'll give it a B tier. So yeah, it's the tier lists. I mean, it's alright, I'd say. Gold Raven D, Thumper C, the Steel Raven and the Saw Blade are both B. 40 MC a short grip, F57 a short mag, no stock. S97, the MP7 looking one. The M20 without the stock, and the UPG9 are all A tier. And S tier we have 40 MCS with stock with the normal regular Chrome Raven. Actually, I'll give it A tier. Actually, it's too iconic. S tier. I'll keep it in there. CBRC, there's no modifications. CHA, no modifications either. F57 with the normal mag, but the short stock. The Mac 10 looking version of the S7, it looks like a Mac 10. I don't know why. We got the K45, the MM20 with the stock. The UPG. This is the the Matte Raven, and the Chrome Raven. This is a great. Next up, let me just close this. Alright, next up we have. This is going to be. These maps were in Shadow War. Now, the one map I'm going to put in the worst tier. I don't know what it'll be. Probably. Oh, wait, definitely the Freelancer. The Freelancer isn't even a mission, technically. So I'm not even gonna consider it for this list. But I mean, it could be in garbage, but I'm just gonna put it in the zone tier for 3. So it's that bad. It's like so trash. Okay, I just was on caps lock. Alright. Next up, we got the auction, which is just a withdrawal, but if it was light, so it was dark at night. I actually like it. It looks really cool. I'm gonna say okay. Actually, personally, it'll be a good night map, but like there'd have to be like some barricades and like there'd be way less glass windows. If there was less glass windows, they replaced with mostly the metal doors. Like, but if it was like Shadow Warified with like all the metal doors, the way less there was like no glass accessible for the defenders or attackers, then it would be a decent. But for this, I'm gonna say okay, because like if it was Shadow Warified, it would like we're doing the maps if they had like all the metal and stuff. If they had like all the things a Shadow War map would have. Like the one thing I don't think would work well would be hatches, because like the hatches would have to be in like the guard room. They have to be in like a guard room, like a main room. There's not too much second floor space. So honestly, I'm gonna say okay. It would be decent if it wasn't. If I had more potential hat places, it'd be really better. All right, Black Dusk. It's a really big map, and there'd have to be a way. In my opinion, the servers would have to be like 2 in the vault. I mean, no, 2 in the vault 1, 2 in the operatives area, and then 2 in the one with the server room. And there also probably should be like, my opinion, there should be like a camera network, like a way to hack the old cameras, but it should be like the main control room. If it was like turned to a Shadow War map, but if they like, excuse me, they like removed all that glass at the front, it'd probably be a bad map because of how big it is. But I'm not gonna say garbage because the map would be a nice map, but I don't think many people would want to play it. Next up, we have the black site. Now, the black site, it's garbage. Like, it'd be absolutely torturous. Like, you'd have to walk through so many rooms. See, I don't know what would even happen. Like, would the defenders be at the heli side? Would the attackers spawn at the cargo? But, like, the defenders got to, like, freaking sprint. I don't know what would happen, but, like, honestly, the map would have to be heavily remodeled, so like it really isn't. It really wouldn't be worth it. Next up, we got the cache or the catch. I don't know how you say it. The catch or whatever it's called would honestly probably be an okay map. It's just a deposit, but at night, and there's like one extra door and a router monitor, which in my opinion makes it not decent. I'd say okay. As most of the heist maps would be okay. Okay, I keep coughing. That's the main reason why I'm even putting it there, just because, like, the map, there's, there's so much glass windows that the map would honestly have to be okay. Next up, we have the deposit. The deposit is going to be in decent. D for decent. The reason why it's going to be in D, actually, I'll run it I'll do elite. The main reason why I want it to be elite is because it's free, 2 floors, 3 floors. There'd be a ton of hash potential. There's a ton of rooms, and best of all, it'd be a relatively fair map. Honestly, as long as the attacker spawns will be barricaded, and there's like a walkway inside the building, you know those buildings with like the connector in the middle, the exterior connector. It's like this long hallway that has a bunch of windows to the outside, but it's still in the building or something. I can't really think of an example, but it'd be like, if it was like that, then like it'd be a elite map. If it was sent into the parking garage, I'm still gonna rate it elite though, just because of how fun the map is. Like, it would be really fun to play. The Financer this map has way too much glass windows. Personally, if the map was like expanded slightly, maybe it'd be worth it. But like, it's gonna go in the garbage. Like, it'd be horrible. It's too small of a map. There's like there'd be like no hatches. The servers would be in like random places, and like the attacker spawn would just be like freaking like camp. There'd only be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'd be like 5 on the first floor and then like 3 on the second. Yeah, 1 door to the second, 2 doors. I'm gonna get it bad. And why it's not garbage is because it would be a fun map to play like a small amount. Alright, what would the gala be? The gala is the kill house, but if it was like full of like a bunch of boxes and stuff, and that'd be a good cover. So it's gonna be slightly hard. It's gonna be slightly lower than the kill house. Because of how many just because of like how there's like it's mass a bit worse I'd say than the kill house. Not too bad, not too bad though. Kill house gonna be decent. Oh yeah, decent. It'll be a fun map. The setup, right? Yep. Setup would probably be good because there's like a few entrances. There's like that garage door. Now, I might like if you could open it. Or like alternatively, if like you had to like wait for like a timer to open it or something, then that'd be really cool. Personally, I'd say the map would probably be good, but it certainly isn't elite. The withdrawal, 2 floors. The vault room would be horrible. Like, yeah, that garbage. Actually, I'll rate it. Where did I put the auction? I'll rate it. Oh, I'll rate it bad. The only reason why it's slightly lower will because it's in day. I prefer the night maps. Alright, the lake house is set during like dusk or something. And it would be a really fun map. There'd be 2 floors, 3 floors. There's like a ton of rooms, there's like a ton of entry points. It'd be a fun map for like attacking, but for defending it'd probably be a bit annoying, but like if it was more balanced with like less doors, then it'd definitely be a good map. Yeah, I'm gonna say elite because of how unique it is. Like, it has a full-on freaking basement. The scientists. Oh, the spawns would be torture. There'd be 1, 2, 3. How many doors would there be? 1, 2, 3. There'd be like 6 doors. Like, but the problem is, there's only 2 ways to get up to the 2nd floor. And also, there's like this little areas you can like shoot people through. People would probably abuse them and put microcams. It'd be just freaking, it'd be absolutely horrible. Garbage. Actually, it's set during Christmas. It has a snowy aesthetic. I'll rate it bad. Actually, I'll do okay actually, because the snowy aesthetic is fun, and if the map was balanced more, then it'd probably be a good map, an okay map. The score. Where do I even go for this? There's like the office. Yeah. I mean, if the attackers and defenders would like fight over the construction area, and like the attackers had like, let's just say the defenders, that'd be like the objective base where you just like hold 3 points, and like, it'd be like Overwatch with the it's like the payload from Overwatch with like those checkpoints, those free checkpoints. That's what it would be like if it was a Shadow War map. And you just like hold the objective instead of the computers. If it was like payload from Overwatch, then it'd be a decent. I'm gonna rate it good. It'd be really fun if it was like a unique map for payload. If it didn't make a payload. Next up, the SRS. Okay, how do I rate this? So you'd spawn the elevators, I assume. Then you'd have 2 ways of getting in. I'd say it starts during the like server where the servers actually are. Like the defenders would spawn like near the outside where the helipad is. Actually, I probably would close off the area for the helipad. Yeah, that's what I would do. Honestly, that'd probably be a decent map. Last but not least, the lockup. Probably like 1 or 2 hatches, maybe 3 hatches. The servers will be good because like you'd probably have a few in the basement, or 1 or 2 in the 2nd floor, like 1 or 2 in the 2nd floor, to maybe like 2 on the 1st floor. Probably be a relatively fun map. So I'll rate it a okay. Alright, so that was a pretty good video. We're gonna move on to equipment, but I'm going to make this. I'm gonna make it a different video. So goodbye, guys.